today we'll be doing lab setups as well as we'll be understanding what is VM, why we use VM, why not like traditional laptops, why we are not using all those things. We'll discuss those things. So first of all, we'll understand what is VM, what is virtualization and all. What is VM? VM is nothing but virtual machine. Okay. Then virtualization is a process how you will set up a VM on your host laptop. So today we'll discuss the basic concepts like why we call this as host, what is guest, then what is VM. So first of all, virtualization, like it is a process of creating a virtual software or software-based resource where here what all we can do. We can set up a server, we can set up, then we can also set up an OS, which is nothing but operating system. Okay, and we can also install network devices, and we can also make a storage device. Okay, these all we can do on VMs via virtualization. And basically what virtualization and VM will share together. So we'll draw. Suppose this is your host machine, then you will be having your hardware components, hardware. Then there is hypervisor. Then you will be creating separate slots where you will, based on the storage and RAM and as well as allocations of the core, you will be allocating. So basically there will be one set of hardware only where we can test multiple OS, or we can add a network device, or we can make a storage or vulnerable machine. Okay, like here we'll do all these things to cut our cost. Like we can't buy 2 3 laptops and we can't set up a network in our lab. So in order to proceed, like if an interviewer asks you like how did you did your labs, you can say that I use virtual machines where I set up multiple VMs where one could be Windows 10 or 11, it could be one could be a Kali machine, one could be a firewall, or it could be a Ubuntu machine, Linux machine. Okay, you can say them. So from this we'll be attacking this Windows, or we'll be scanning, or we'll be doing nmap scans and all. So here then virtual hardware, like where here OS will come, operating system, then virtual hardware, like we'll be dividing our physical hardware into virtual hardware. Okay, then applications or files, what could be there. So as we discussed, there are three main things like host, host machine, one. Second one is guest machine. Then third one is, as we discussed, hypervisor. So what is host machine? The physical hardware machine, which is your laptop you are using right now. Okay. Then what you will be doing? Guest machine, in the sense you will be installing a VM. It could be VirtualBox or VMware. Okay. Then hypervisor is a mechanism where it create layers. Okay. Layers of software which virtually divides this hardware. Suppose you are using an MSI laptop. Okay. Then your RAM is 24 GB. Your storage, it could be hardware, like it could be hard disk, or it could be M.2 or NVMe SSD, which is there in your laptop. It could be 512 GB. Then there will be a processor, which could be some Ryzen 7 with 8 cores and 16 threads. Okay. Or there could be an Intel i5, i7, so on. So what happens, when you install a VM, I'll show. Okay. This is your VirtualBox, Oracle VirtualBox, which is the open source, like which is free, which we'll be using. So whenever you create, like we can click on new, can go here and we can click on new. So we can name, it could be Kali, or we can Windows, it could be anything. And then we can select path, like from where the VM folder should be, like in which directory we can select all these things. Okay.
I have a
Then
question. I'm sorry
ISO.
to disturb you, Raman bhai.
Okay, Aziz.
Do I need to download Kali Linux on my laptop? Like, do I have to go through through Google's search engine and I can download it? You're saying?
I'll show you like how you need to download, or like whether your system is compatible to that or not. We need to check that one first.
Okay. Now, just in case if
Okay.
it's not, then is there like another option for that? Maybe because it's a couple of years older, so will that be compatible or not?
Like it is not that necessary. We'll be doing labs we can run in our what we call command prompt also, just like how we'll ping. And I'll show you an
Okay.
example. 1 second. So we can what we can do, we can write IP on C. Like whenever we type, we can also use this one. We can do ping, which is 8.8.8. See. Everything will be working here also. We can just what we call we should just use we can also use Kali Linux also. Some tools are only available in Kali Linux, like the
Mm-hmm.
Bobsuit or what we for that
Mm-hmm.
you need to have, or else we can also install those on our Windows host also. Like we can install separate Wireshark on our laptop. And but to perform these labs we should have VM, like real time we can do on VMs only if it is possible, or else you can practice on this terminal also.
Okay.
These so like we are doing this to get an real time knowledge, so we can say in our interview only. But when we'll go in an organization, everything will be different. They won't be using these terminals and all. Everything will be automated. Tools are there. Okay. So we'll get back to this. So
Okay.
we got a small idea like what is VM, like why do we use VM, and what is virtualization, and what what is like how we were showing this one, right? How we allocate, like if you want, like when you go in an organization, you may create some VMs over there to set up your lab in organization. So we'll be seeing that this one. So here what will happen, like we can name it as dev, or the path should be that, like if you want that we can keep it that way. And we can select like whether we are installing a Microsoft Windows or Linux or IBM or Mac OS or anything. Like if we keep Linux, we can keep Debian 64-bit. Then we do have like we are not using this option. So we'll go to next option, where here we are giving this VM. Like it could, like if we are keeping a Windows virtual machine, it will be working as same our host machine only. But here we'll be giving memory in the sense here it will be RAM. We can give basically we'll give 2 GB of RAM for VM, so that it can run normally. Like if we have more RAM in our laptop, if it is like 24, like I see, like I do have 24 GB of RAM in my laptop, so I can give it won't like here there is a red mark, right? It should not exceed from that. If it exceeds from this, then what will happen, like it will your host machine will start to slow down and all. Okay. So we can keep it as like 4 or 4 GB. And here the number of cores, like as uh, so here I'll be giving 2 cores or 3 cores, so that the process of so that it can use my processor to process the things very easily. Okay. Then here we'll be setting up all these things. In next option we'll be setting like how much storage we are giving it. Like it could be hard drive storage or SSD storage which we want to give to our virtual machine. It could be 20 GB, 10 GB. Based on our requirement we can change it afterwards also. Okay. And next, like I do have a Kali where I gave it 50 GB. Here I'll show you. Cancel. See, I have a Kali virtual machine where I gave 500 MB. of base memory, sorry, 5000 MB, like which is 5 GB of my RAM to it. And then what I did, I gave 3 cores where I have 16 cores for my host machine, and processing capability in the sense like how much process you would like to give to this these cores, like whether they should utilize whole cores. So I don't want to get any lagging issues or something, so that's the reason I gave it 100%. Okay, then display will be there, like if we give 128 MB, then the display will be overall our screen, like it will be taking whole ratio of our screen. If we reduce it, what will happen, the pixel size of that virtual machine will be decreasing. Okay, like if we have monitor, we can use this one. This is video memory. Then in storage, as I gave 50 GB actually, sorry, 40 GB I gave, where 25 GB has been utilized by this VM. And we can also set up our audio, like whether we want to have audio from our VM, or whether we don't want, we can. And I kept that if we are doing any activities within this VM, what we'll do, we'll keep that as bridge adapter, so that the network will be within this only, within this VM only. But right now I want to make it as like the VM is within this host, and the host will be connecting, like it is a NAT configuration I gave it, network access translation. Then same like adapter 1 2 3 4, whatever we want we can. And serial ports also we can here, when we'll enable this while doing port scanning. If we have a vulnerable VM, we'll do in our next labs as well, as so that we'll have a metasploitable VM here, and we'll enable ports for that, so that we can do port scan also. And USB, these are very common, like we can keep this as default only. Shared folder is also default. Okay, now let me start my VM. I'll show you like what all we have in this VM. It's fine, right? So where here, like if we click here, we'll have all the application tools. Okay, recently used, where I use Burp Suite, and all applications will be there. These are all tools where we can use this for only for educational purposes only, without knowing what these tools would do. And also, okay, so this is my Kali interface, where we'll have all the tools for reconnaissance, for resource development, for initial access, execution, persistence, privileges, defense evaluation, and credential access, discovery. These all are, once I'll show you like how in an organization we predict or we do. There is a MITRE framework based on what every EDR tool has been created. Based on this framework, every tool, every EDR tool is working right now. Based on these detection methods only, the tools are detecting whether the on which stage the attacker is there, like whether he attacked. See, it will take some time, I guess, to understand you. So these all are tactics. Okay, reconnaissance, resource development, initial access, execution, persistence, privilege escalations, defense aviation, credential access, discovery, lateral movement, collection, command and control, exfiltration, impact. Okay, these all are the tactics, and these are the techniques, like how they can do reconnaissance, in the sense active scanning. So at first stage, one second, You can open will share this, I'll share this link to you where you can go through this documentation, which is available for everyone. You can open it on any Chrome or any web or any browser. You can open it. Okay. This reconnaissance is one tactic. Like in interview, they may ask you like how many tactics are there and how many techniques are there. They may ask you like if they ask you like what is reconnaissance, when this is the aim, like reconnaissance is an aim where these techniques or the procedures, what we can call step by step process, or we can call it as method. So so reconnaissance, which is a tactic. What is tactic? It is aim of attacker. Okay. Then what is technique? It is method how he is doing. Okay. Like if you want to do, is planning to do reconnaissance, then in reconnaissance what he can do? He can scan, he can gather victim information, gather identity information, gather network information, organization information, phishing information, or closed source or open technical database. Here in this stage he'll gather information. Basically he'll study your environment, like whatever there in your environment he'll study. Then in resource development, what he'll do, he'll develop resources so that he can he will he'll plan. Like here he'll plan. Here what he'll do, he'll do an overview and he'll make a blueprint how he, like what are there, like what ones, let me share my drawing. Okay. I think my screen is visible right now, whatever I'm drawing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in reconnaissance, let me write it from tech and technique, tactic. Okay. What we discussed, tactic is an aim and technique are methods. Okay. Whenever a attacker or malware is in your laptop, these are the methods which are used by tool. Tool will use all these things so that we as humans can understand what is happening. Like at which stage the attack is happening. Okay. So in first one is reconnaissance. Okay, where what an attacker would do, he can actively scan. Like basically here he'll gather information, gather info about anything. It could be an organization or a person or anything, any network database. Then next, what next tactic is resource development. Okay, in resource development, what he'll do, he'll create method or he'll write a script so that he can acquire or access your system. If here he done a phishing attack, okay, then here what he would do in resource development, he'll, if he plans to do phishing attack here, then in resource development he'll create an email template. Okay, and then what he'll do at third, he'll capture initial access. Okay, initial access, how he can take, while like if there is any email template, he'll if you click on that, then what happens, your credentials could have compromised, or he can inject code. Basically the difference between, once let me explain you this, CEH, certified ethical hacker, and security plus. What is it, like here you will try to hack someone, but here your perspective will be to secure, actually to secure an organization. In this domain, in cybersecurity, you will try to secure. That's the reason we'll be explaining a lot of concepts, and as well as like how this scenario will be happening, like how the tools are working. We should have all the basic knowledge of those. Okay, that's the reason I'm explaining you this MITRE framework. Once, let me go back to this chart. So this is an open source where we can go on each and everything. We should go, and we should what we should learn everything here. Like we should know what is initial access, we should go on execution, what is persistence. We'll be getting around with all these words in whenever we go into an organization. That's the reason we should go and study this. Then only we'll have an idea like what is defensive aviation. Like if I ask you like what is defensive aviation, what is credential access, like whether it is a technique or tactic. This is a tactic, then these are brute force is technique. So like if we click on this now, we'll get all the information like how, like what are the techniques, like how he can hack into it. Like there is a huge content over here in this one website, where each and like if we go on Reconnance, we can see like active scanning, like what he'll be doing. He'll be gathering information, scans, he'll scanning IP blocks and all. Okay, this is one thing where all the tools which are there in this environment, like in this cybersecurity environment, they are working on this MITRE framework only. And one more thing, there is virus total, which is an website. As see here, there is a URL, we can add URL or IP or domain or file hash. Okay, and this is abuse IPDB, where we'll be checking locations of IPs. Okay, so let me go to another website where I'll show you. See, this is a website where you will be finding all the trending malwares or telling trending malware hashes, samples, and malicious URLs. You will be finding all these things. Whenever you go in an organization, you will be every day you will be going to these websites and you will be gathering information. Like if I click on this, and I'll also let me open this also. See, here I found an malware URL. Okay, you should not click on these links. Like if you click on this, your system or your laptop will get hacked. Okay, we'll go to this virus total, we'll paste it, and we'll click enter. What it will do, it will analyze this IP or this domain, this website, what is there in this, like what is the reputation of this. These are open source where we will be using this for our security research and analysis purpose. See what is like out of 98, two vendor flag this as malicious. Okay, let me reanalyze. Like last analysis was on a month ago. I'll click on reanalysis. So the status is correct. Okay, so what are the two vendors? Fortinet or G-Data, SOC Radar, and Alpha SOC. We can also click on this so that we can get information about this, like URL, serving IP, what is the status code. What if we search for that IP? Let's check what happens. See, some malware file has been downloaded. That's the reason we should not click on these links which will create a backdoor for an hacker. Let me delete. Okay, like whenever we click on these links, malicious links, it will automatically download some malicious malware file. 1 second. Here we can also choose a file. Okay, let me check whether the file is there. We can upload this file. So see, if we upload a file also, it will analyze that file whether the file is good or what is that reputation of the file. See, okay, from here what we'll do, we'll go on details. Like in our second class, I guess I discussed about the hash and all, right? MD5 hash, SHA-1, SHA-256, these all are file hashes where we can copy this and we can, like, let me duplicate it. We can just go to this website, can click, I'll just paste the hash. So that hash is sent across all the Intel tools and all these virus total tools. So if I click enter now, it will directly show the version of these things. This hash value will contain each and every information of the file which is there. Okay, these all are the malware files where we'll do analysis of if same IP is attacking us, we'll block them in our firewall layer. Okay, I'll also share these malware analysis websites too. It could be MX Toolbox, okay, and we got Virus Total, MX Toolbox, and IP geolocation. It is also another website where we'll just type an IP. This is MX Toolbox. See here, IP locations. What is my location? Each and everything will be given here. And in Kali, the main thing is like you will be seeing the tools, and documentation is also present here. So we'll close this one now. File is file deleted. Remove, clear now. Done. So let me explain you the labs, like what we were planning to do today. Okay. So I'll share you the lab manual which I have prepared for you on. I think it's visible, right? Is it visible?
Yes.
So today, like the lab will be like what is ping and what is ping labs, like why we want like when pinging, like when we are hitting any IP, how many bytes will go, how many bytes will receive. Okay, generally we use ping to check whether we are getting any response or not, and then we'll be have we are having this ping and trace route. What is trace set, what is ping, will we are it is there, and then what is how we'll use trace route command, what is the purpose of checking this trace route. Okay, so let's get back to this. Okay, what is ping actually is? Ping is a utility used to test and reachability of the host, like web server, okay, and another computer or a router on an IP, and to measure the round trip time, like RTP, like what is the time, millisecond time, which is required, which is taking from my host device to that destination point. Okay, so we'll do that example right now. So we can do from this also. One second. We can ping you. Okay, see here the time. Is it visible clearly? I hope it is visible too. Okay, so when I ping 8.8.8.8, which is Google's domain, like IP, and DNS is google.com. Okay, so from it is going from this and it is taking 32 bytes and the time is 16 milliseconds. Okay, and what is that round trip time in milliseconds? Minimum 16 milliseconds and maximum 31. See, it will show us the time and average is 20 milliseconds and data loss is nothing. One more thing I'll show. Today we are facing an issue with okay, share this. Okay, like, is my Google visible? So we'll we'll click on this. Okay, or we'll click on chat. We'll copy this one from here and we'll paste it in this. Let's check whether it is pinging. Ping. Okay, see, or else ping. See, here the IP address is different and here the IP address is different. Okay, where here the Google IP address is this one and here the ChatGPT IP address is this one. So let me copy this IP address. Okay, we'll cross verify now. We'll copy. Let me share another screen. Can anyone note on this? I will, or else I'll copy. Okay, done. So I'll go to another Kali, share it. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll use here. Okay. Let me use this. Okay. I'll be using this. I'll click. Oh, okay. We'll be using this here, and we'll use the IP location. Okay. So see, right now the IP associated with this chat GPT is this one. We should keep control C to exit this one. Okay. So here 15 packets were transmitted. Now I'll go on this location. I want to check what is this IP associated with. Okay. I'll click here, I'll type here 104.18.32.47. Okay. I'll click on IP lookup. See, this is the Cloudflare's ISP, and which is associated with this ChatGPT. I'll do one more thing. Copy. I'll open virus total. In another tab, I'll open MX toolbox. We'll go to this URL and we'll paste it here. We'll click on search. See, here in details, we'll see what is the information, like what it is about, like what is the category of this website. Like if we click on any tobacco site, here the category will be defined. Okay. Next, what is the first submission? What is the URL? Serving IP address. Okay. If we copy this one and let me duplicate it. Okay. If we paste it here, let's check what we are getting. Everything is cybersecurity about verifying, investigating, and cross-checking. See, this is also associated with Cloudflare, and the location is US, Cloudflare US, and Canada, which is in United States only, which is beside, and there are many multiple servers of these chat GPT, which are associated with Cloudflare. Okay, one more thing we'll copy this, we'll try to ping that one. Ping 172.64.155.209. Enter. See, and we can also do one more thing. Copy. We'll try to paste it. An error occurred, cannot communicate. There is something error which is going on. Let us try with this IP. Here also it isn't. Also it isn't. See, here we'll get the DNS records. DNS record is having some issues reported by Cloudflare. Today's date, isn't it? UTC. So there is some issue going on with Cloudflare. Like if there are any problems with any website, we'll be seeing here. We'll go google.com with any website. See, here the status is okay. Like if we are trying to access, we'll do a we'll check. Okay, we'll open it. We'll check whether it is working or not. See, it is associated with Cloudflare, right? You need to click it. Now it is working. So from previously what used to happen, it used to automatically marked it as like you are human and it used to redirect. But today what happened, we manually did it. Means there was some issue around 1 hour. Or we can also check with x.com, which is Twitter. See, it is working. Okay, like we can check on these MX toolbox whether the domain is working properly, or whether there are any blacklist checks, or whether there is any issue with these things. Okay, we can come here, we can cross verify each and everything. And next we'll ping something else. Ping 127.0.0.1. Okay, it is our computer local host where everything is within our system only. It is coming. Okay, it is working. We can also do one more thing, which is like we can write another command, ping hyphen c, which is count, where or we can also keep it as n or c. Like if we are using it in Linux and Mac OS, we need to keep it as c. Like if we are using it in Windows, we need to keep this count abbreviation as n, hyphen n. Then we should specify our count, like if you want to send 2 times, okay, 2, then 2, 2, then to which websites, google.com. Okay, then it should send request twice to that Google DNS, and it should revert back. See, as we click 2, it is sending 2 times only. It is requesting 2 times. Like what if we keep it as 10? It should send a request 10 times. Okay, then and what basically the purpose, what will be our purpose? The purpose of us will be to check whether the connectivity is correct or not. It's working great. So why we do ping? Like we here, what we are doing from our laptop, we are pinging that website. But what we can also do with, when we are in organization, we can have a server with an IP 192.168.1.10. It could be one. And so here what we'll do, here we'll ping to it, like whether it is responding, whether the connection is correct or not. This is a simple step where we can check whether the connectivity between two devices are working properly or not. That's the purpose of ping. Then what is trace route? The second concept of today's, where we'll be doing lab. Basically trace route, here in trace route, here we are only doing ping, where we are getting and receiving, sending and receiving back signals whether it is working properly. But in trace route, we'll check how many hops are there in that. Like to access this machine, how I am going, like 1, 2, 3. or else there could be one point to access this. There will be multiple hops and multiple IPs or routers which are in middle, so that I am accessing. We can check that one here. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll write trace ROUT, trace route, or we can also make it as TRACET, trace it. Okay, in this we should make sure that the spellings are correct, or else the error will occur. Sorry. This 30 hops are there, means 30 routers are there in between us and this 8.8.8, where these are masked, like that organization does not want us to note down key whether which, what is this, like what are the routers they are using in between from R to that website. Okay, see, everything is masked over here. What if we do, we can also write the times also here. We'll do another one, trace route. In Mac and in Linux we'll write trace route, or else in that our Windows we'll write it as trace it. Okay, trace route hyphen n. Okay, then google.com, enter. Let's see what happens. It will only show the IPs like which are very fast, like it will find the shortest path, like for a shortest path between our host and that. Basically right now what is happening, these stars are the masked IPs, masked routed IPs of their Google, so which they don't want us to see. Okay, one more thing we can do, we can trace, like what if facebook.com, we'll do this one. Okay, TRACE route facebook.com. Okay, see, here is also, it is also masked, like everything is masked here also, like there are maximum 30 ops only it will capture, like we don't know like how many routers are there between us and them. This is how you can ping and check, like why we use trace route. We'll have difference right now. See, ping is to test. Okay, from this laptop to that server, whether it is working or not, whether the connection is there or not, whether it is working properly, whether the bytes are sent and received. Then trace route. Here what will happen? It will check like how many hurdles are there, like whether it is an router, it could be a switch, or it could be another router. Then you will be having this server. So it will note this and it will give you while trace route. It will show all the IPs in between your source and destination.